Good morning. I hope that you're having a good week here in sport marketing. So I know I am, and this week we are looking at social media. So we have two readings this week. One is your book chapter, and then I have picked another article out of Sport Business Daily. So I'd like us to look at that one. I've posted a link to that article, and I think it's pretty interesting. So this week and this week we've got our last current issue due, and so I like the current issue assignments because it asks you to do some Googling. That's kind of easier research than looking for like research articles that are in journals and stuff. This is a little bit more popular research where you can find blog posts or like newspaper media or ESPN articles or something like that. So it's a little bit more kind of up to the minute current event type of information that we can see in the sports that we watch kind of on a regular basis. So once you know what these things are and you start seeing them when you're watching sports on TV or even around you, it kind of, I recognize that, cause marketing. I remember talking about that in class. So hopefully you start to kind of recognize these things. And this last one that we're looking at is called, it's called ambush marketing. Yeah, ambush marketing. And we see this a lot in international sporting events. So things like Olympic and World Cup, it's a little more common than in like our domestic sports in the United States. So I think I have a couple of examples that just happen to be in international sports events. I think one that I posted is in the World Cup. So a couple of comments on the last current issue assignment that just kind of some easy points that I would love to see more attention to this time. Most of the situations in which I took points were one of two things. So the first thing is that in some papers I saw either a very extensive definition of cause marketing, not just what it is, but also how it's used, how it shouldn't be used, how it's best used. And then maybe the example was glossed over, and then just a couple of sentences regarding an example, and then some blank space at the end of the second page. And if there's blank space at the end of the page, then you didn't quite explain enough. So I'm asking for 2 full pages. So some points were taken if you either had a big definition and then a little example, or vice versa. Some of you had a lot to say about an example, but the definition was maybe a couple sentences from just one source. So I really appreciate it if you had multiple sources that explain kind of different perspectives on that definition or different sides, different aspects of that definition. A definition in 1 or 2 sentences doesn't explain much. So that was one instance where I took some points. And the other instance where I took some points is where attention to detail wasn't provided in your APA citations, both in-text citations and reference page citations. So those are easy points, and we can't keep missing them because they're going to keep showing up in the classes that you take in the master's program. So that's just a thing that we're picky on in the master's program in graduate school. So getting the format right when you report where you got your information. So in-text citations have a last name and a date in parentheses, and if you used quotation marks for a direct quote, it also includes a page number. And then in the reference listing at the end, there's a very specific format that has the author, the date, the article title, where you got it, and then a URL if it was an internet-based source like a blog or something like that. So sometimes I just see a copy and paste URL, and that's not enough. You can look in your APA manual, and I've even provided the link to the Purdue OWL, it stands for Online Writing Lab, the Purdue OWL website, and there is a great example paper so that you can, copy that example format in your own paper. And so I always found that really handy, just copying an example of an online source, for example. So let's not miss any more points on reference pages or in-text citations. Once you kind of get it automatic, they're easy points, But until you do, there are points that I hate seeing you miss because it's easy to fix. So just some attention to detail on that. And again, look at my feedback, look at the grading rubric. I hate to see the same points missed over and over and over. So, sometimes I might say, your whole paper is one long paragraph. Use multiple paragraphs. And sometimes I'm seeing that over and over and over. So that's another easy points that I'm taking, but sometimes I'm not sure that you read my feedback because I'm still seeing it. So make sure you read my feedback. A lot of it, especially with these current issues assignment, it's easy stuff, just easy formatting things that if you clean it up or give a little bit of attention to it, then it becomes habit. We'll not miss points on that next time. It'll become habit, and your writing will be so much better for it. So that's my 2 cents on the current issues assignments, but keep them coming. I really like the examples. So I hope that you have a great week, and happy November, and I'll talk to you soon.